All right, guys, what's going on? Eric here. Just wanted to kind of go over this setup here, ABCD pattern with you guys. Just wanted to, kind of give you some clarification on it. This will be, a really quick video, but, this will help you get a good example of the ABCD pattern, kind of how to play it, and or also, how to manage your risk. Shout out to one of our, people in the chat room. They actually recognized, I think it was Brian who called it out. He's like ABCD setup. Um, Earlier. Let me see. We put it in there. Yeah, IRNT. Yeah, Brian had said it was it was ABCD set up on IRNT. So, congrats to him on recognizing that. Thanks for calling that out, to the group and stuff like that, man. So, but I wanted to break it down here for you guys as well too, so you can kind of get a better idea of how to identify it and what to look for and be able to kind of distinguish the differences between an ABCD pattern setup and other types of setups. Okay, so let's take a look here, with IRNT. Obviously, it was alerted, so you pretty much at that point would want to pull it up, take a look at the stock, um, and start to plan accordingly, of course, right? So remember with the ABCD pattern, you have, the A point, you have the B point, you have the C point, and you have the D point. So what I'm going to do here real quick is just kind of draw it here for you guys so you can kind of, see it here. And you know what? I'll do it with like within a channel to make it easier for you guys. But it's pretty simple. After I finish drawing the points here, you'll understand. I'll just do it one. I don't want to confuse you guys. Let me enlarge this a little bit more so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about and where I'm coming from. Now, um, as far as the ABCD pattern goes and how it pretty much works, there's bullish versions and there's bearish versions. This one, is pretty much a bearish version. When I go over it, you'll understand, you know, how to see it, and just pretty much take what I'm, teaching you now and flip it to reverse. All right. Um, excuse me. So let's talk about A, B, C, D points. So A point, of course, is where the stock breaks out and sets a new intraday high, right? Which is, pretty much from the beginning here at the opening bell, which was, 9:30, 6:30, Pacific time. But here's a breakout, right? Setting a new intraday high. It's breaking out, breaking out. So that's, point A. And point B is where the stock begins to pull back. Okay. So all this is point A, all this is point B. The stock begins to pull back and it sets a new intraday low, which is here. Now it's an intraday low because at this point in time, this is where we're at in the day, right? And this is the new low right here. So that's point B. Now point C is where, a higher low is set and, the stock begins to turn. Okay. Um, and that point is usually right around here. And then point D, well, let me do that here. Point D will be where the stock breaks above the intraday high, which will be at this point here. Let me draw a little line here. So for some new traders who are not familiar with like recognizing patterns yet, or might get it confused with something like a cup and handle. Sorry, didn't make that long enough. With like a cup and handle or anything like that, you'd probably be looking at this and thinking of drawing something like that, but that's not really the case. What kind of sets this apart a little bit more, and you is typically within the C and D range, where the higher low is set and it's starting to turn. So the higher low is right here. You wouldn't really have that in a cup of handle. A cup of handle will just kind of go right there. The new higher low is set right here. As you can see, it begins to go up because you had your first one right here, and then you had this one right here. And this is still in the process of, turning up. So if you have a higher low that's set in the process of it still turning up, and you can tell it's still turning up because of, your isolators or whatever else you use to indicate that, you got a higher low that's set and it's still beginning to trail up. You're waiting on that deep part to come, which is the breakout, which is going to be above the new high, which is pretty much right about here. Okay. Um, so now that D has broken out, you can see all the way to where it starts to pretty much show some resistance. And this is the bearish one, which means you're going to trade this to the downside because once you see that resistance kicking in, which for here is right about the $7 level for some reason, traders love Even numbers. Anyways, when you see that, coming right here, you'll see lots of, resistance at like level two. Um, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up here. So yeah, so you'll see like either like iceberg orders or, different stuff in, level two, start sell orders starting to come through around that level. And as you can see here, it's failed to break that. So as a trader, as a new trader, if you have shorts available and you want to short this to the downside because this is a bearish, you know, pattern, even though this thing is trended up and did all that, make no mistake, it gets exhausted. It has to come back down. Okay. And as you can see here, it has yet to break that $7 level. And, you know, as a trader, if I was planning to trade, I would assume this is going to continue to come down probably until about, I don't know. I mean, I would say probably get yourself a good risk management level between, the different areas of support and resistance, however you want to trade that. Manage your own risks, however you want. Right now, what we're focusing on is a perfect example of the ABCD pattern and how you'd want to trade this and play this trade. Okay. And as you can see, look, there's, a big order there, 698. So right around that range, near that $7 range is where a lot of resistance is showing. And, you know, as a trader, if I was long and I got in this at about, 670 or something like that, I'd want to get out because, I'd wait for a breakout to move, into the next range of $7 or more. But until then, this thing looks like it's just going to trail down for a while. So this is just a great example here. And, again, kudos to Brian for, figuring it out. I know, he studies a lot, and that's what you guys, need to be doing as traders. Practicing, reading patterns, but the ABCD pattern, it's more of an easier pattern for people to learn. Once you kind of see it more often, make no mistake, because sometimes this confuses people. This the stock breaking out usually happens during the beginning of the day. Usually it's kind of hard to see an ABCD pattern, throughout other time frames of the day. But at the beginning of the day, obviously this was alerted to us. Hey, look at the stock that's running up. You get that pattern going in there, and you don't want to confuse, little things like, a cup and handle being mistaken for this, and you're trying to trade a breakout and it doesn't break out, or it breaks out the wrong way, or it doesn't break down, however you want to play it. Or, you kind of mistake like this for another pattern like an ascending triangle or a flagger pattern or whatever you want. But, you know, kind of recognizing the candlesticks patterns as well too will help you identify that. If you can see a lot of resistance, there's a lot of wicks here, which means there's a lot of resistance and pushback. So you kind of know it's coming. Even though this is creeping along, you kind of know the resistance is coming pretty soon. And that's not much of a difference. It's a couple cents difference, not too much. But that should be something you can anticipate. This right here is a dip, because you still got, a lot of strength shown on this indicators at this point. So you would know that this is still going to be, trending up at this point. As you're more experienced in the market, you'll be able to kind of see that. This is probably as picture perfect as it's going to get. Obviously, you'd be seeing, you know, different videos, stuff like that of, people, I guess, drawing it, the ABCD pattern. This is a good way of seeing it in real time with real candles and being able to actually plot it. So just kind of make no mistake, that's why the highs and the lows are important of the day. But this is how you recognize the ABCD pattern. And, a bullish trader probably want to try to get in on this dip because it's, it's a red candle here, but it's, still in a bullish territory. So you probably get like in right there and then get a little quick sense pop right there. But make no mistake, you're near that $7 mark. It's going to start to pull back and show resistance. Okay. So take your time, review this video, review this chart. If you want to review this, this is IRNT. This is on, February 25th, 2022. Um, Opening bell. You can just kind of pull that up if you want and review it on your own, depending on whenever you see this video. But I hope this helps you guys out with recognizing the ABCD pattern. Put it in your arsenal. You bears can, have it in your tool belt. All right. So hopefully that was good for you guys. If you have any questions, just comment below. Definitely, continue to like and subscribe, share this with more people so, more traders can get exposed to this information for the free. All right. You guys stay green.